Hi, my name's Ashley,
And I'm Matt.
and this is the Room for Creativity podcast, where we explore how creative ventures and being a creative fit into this tech-driven world.
On this week's episode, we're exploring creativity and how we actually define it. If you like what we're doing and want to hear more, make sure you hit subscribe and give us a like.
Absolutely. We want to create a community here. Now, before we get into the meat of this topic, I would love to hear, Matt, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Mostly music the last little bit. The photography side of things has kind of stalled for the moment just because of time constraints. It's been busy, so. And it's unfortunate because spring is here, the snow has finally disappeared, and I should be out enjoying the weather, but I'm not. But I am working on 4 different pieces of music right now. I just finished a big commission for a local concert band. The North Bay Symphony is playing an arrangement of my award-winning piece, River Valley Sketches, in October, so I'm working on the arrangement for that.
I'm so excited to hear that. I love that piece. I loved that little piccolo solo you wrote for me. I've decided it's for me. I don't care if it is.
That's for you.
Oh, yay. So...
Yeah, it's a fun piece, and it was written in 2012, so it's been a bit. This will be the first time an orchestra has played it.
Yeah, but that's so cool.
So there's that. I've got a big new commission for a local chamber orchestra that's being premiered next April, which is fun. And I'm also doing music for a wedding in October.
Right, yeah.
Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, do you want to tell me a little bit more, or tell them a little bit more about what you mean by you're doing a wedding? Because what you're doing at that wedding is a little bit unique.
Yeah, well, I'm writing and performing music for the ceremony. It's something that I've done for friends and family in the past, and it's a bespoke thing where I create an entirely new piece of music for you to walk down the aisle with. It's something I really like doing. It's fun to be involved in a wedding ceremony like that and to bring something a little special to someone's, their big day. So if that's something you're interested in, having bespoke music written for you for your wedding day, get in touch. I'd love to have a chat.
It is something that's always gone over well. Like I've been on the music side of a couple of weddings myself. You more than me, but I've played a few of your compositions at particularly family weddings for those ones, and the reception it gets is so fun, and it's just so fun to be able to use our talents to help make in this sense, our friends and families' days better. It's something that I just think is so cool, and I don't know why nobody does it other than, you.
You know, I'm not knocking Pachelbel's Canon in D or Bach's Air on the G string. They're great pieces of music, but wouldn't it be nice to have a piece of music that no one else is ever going to play again, only for you?
Well, I agree. But before we turn this into an ad for you.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to? That's me. What have you been doing?
Good question. A lot of yarning. I haven't been doing as much with my spinning or my yarn dyeing recently because we are in the process of packing for a move, and with that comes all of my toys being put away. Yeah. So unfortunately, I haven't had a chance, and also not having a lot of time because your time's going elsewhere. Again, just like you, it's there aren't enough hours in a day.
Oh, it's hard. When you're trying to do more than one creative thing, it doubles it.
And trying to live life, and you've got a busy life on top of that because you've decided to pile on all the things at once.
Jeez, it should be time for creativity.
It really should.
That feels short supply sometimes.
Yeah, and I am a person who doesn't understand spacing things out. So when it rains, it pours. I'm like, let's do all the things now.
Good luck.
Well, we're doing it. Anyway, a lot of the stuff I've been doing, honestly, has, as I mentioned last week, I am working on some stuff for my mom, and I'm also working on Eventually I'll be working on a new scarf for myself because I have some beautiful camel hair and silk yarn that I have left over from previous project that I want to use.
Camel hair?
Yeah. It's gorgeous. It is a luxury.
Not the first animal you think of when you think of silky luxury yarn.
No, but it is gorgeous. On another podcast, I'll make sure to bring on my my pretty shawl for anyone who's watching on YouTube for show and tell.
Learn something new every day.
Yes, it is beautiful. And both the shawl and the actual fabric, the fiber. But I digress. I also have been doing a lot of work on the creative side of making this, including learning how to do some of the editing, make it look really good when you're doing the editing, because editing's not super hard. Editing well is very challenging.
Yeah, they don't make it easy.
No, to make something look nice is not the easiest thing sometimes, but I'm working on it. It'll get better every time. And as I've said before, and you will hear me say it a lot, creativity is a process. And this is part of my creative process.
So we have been busy.
Yes.
Busy. But we have made time to come sit down here with all of you to talk about what is creativity.
Absolutely. So I'll let you start off, my dear.
Well, if you are a fan of Monty Python at all, you should know the name John Cleese. He presented in 1991 a lecture specifically on creativity. And his definition of creativity was the ability to connect two hitherto separate ideas in a way that generates new meaning. And I really like that as a definition.
I think it's great. And the way he ties it into how that works with humor is excellent. Now, before you run on any farther, I will tell you, and by you I do mean our lovely audience, that we will have reference sheets for all of our podcast episodes. So if there's something that you're curious about, like, say, watching this entire lecture on creativity, it will be linked in those references for you so that you can go check it out for yourself and learn.
Oh, which you should. It is definitely worth a watch.
It's an amazing, I think it's only, well, it's about an hour, I think, but it's a
well
good
worth the time.
hour.
Invest it.
It's a good hour. And that's so different though. Well, like that's a creative person's creative definition. It's very different from, say, what we would get from a dictionary. Cambridge says producing or using original and unusual ideas. That is literally their definition of it. And I do find it sterile, but I also do find it very inclusive.
Yeah, sure, I suppose so.
Well, as we're going to see...
I was going to say, it's not incorrect.
No, as we're going to see, creativity takes a lot of forms.
It does take a lot of forms. Actually, on that point, I have here John Cleese's book. It's billed as a short and cheerful guide, and it certainly is both of those things.
Yes.
And he talks a lot about the whole process, including finding time and space for your creativity, which is something we're going to be talking about a lot. You know, the unconscious brain. It's a very short book. You don't pay a whole lot for it. I would suggest anybody who's a creative go out and read this. You can read this in an hour, but it's full of some great ideas, including his, definition of creativity. So go and grab this. It's worth it.
Absolutely. We are not sponsored. But
someday, maybe, not now.
No. But honestly, that is one of the best books on creativity that I've read, and I've read quite a few. And it's, 85 pages or something like that? It's not more than 100. Oh, it is more than 100. I lied.
Technically, yes, I suppose.
103 pages. I lied. But, I've read books with much smaller print and many more pages and not gotten the same out of it as I have out of that. It is, even if you're not creative, I think it has some value because it talks about how to really bring some play back into your life. But I digress. We could actually do a full episode on this, just on this book. So
I was going to say too, I know you love this book. It's a great book, but it is not my favorite book on creativity. I have one that was written by the American choreographer Twyla Tharp, which I find is even better than this one. We will talk about that.
The War of Art?
No, The Creative Habit.
The Creative Habit.
I also have the War. I've got a bunch. We're going to look at these things as we go on. I'm gonna trot out all these books and we'll look at them because they all have great things to offer, and that's something we can certainly look at some point.
Oh yeah. As we've said, you're coming on the journey. As I mentioned, creativity does take on a variety of different forms, and I must say, as somebody who worked in a very tech-driven space, I worked in a very tech-forward company for many years, and I had a lot of people who worked on the more techie side of the tech company. Working in the marketing side of a tech company is interesting. And they would see what I did, they would see what I wrote, and they'd go, "Oh my gosh, Ashley, like, how do you even do that? That's so neat. I could never do that. I'm not creative like that." And I'd go, "Yeah, you're right. You're not creative like that." There are very few people in this world that I may have met that I would say are not creative in some way, shape, or form.
Everybody's got it in them somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody has. And if you say you don't, well, it could be a matter of, not being nurtured for a variety of reasons. But I think everybody has that app installed.
I like
when
that.
You're born. I didn't really mean to go that direction, but yeah, I think everybody's creative. It's just in different ways. People just think that being creative needs oil paints or, a musical instrument, and that's not the case.
It really isn't. And I'm going to give you the case in point on this because this is one of my favorite examples for non-conventional creativity, I'm going to call it. And that would be the FEMA Waffle House Index. Disaster Index.
The FEMA Waffle House Index?
Yeah. So...
Explain?
As I said, it's quite on the other end of the spectrum from John Cleese.
Sounds like it.
Yes. So FEMA, for those of you that don't know, is America's Federal Emergency Management Agency.
That has not made me less confused.
And yes. No, I don't expect it to.
Okay. So,
one thing to know about Waffle Houses, if you're not from America, is they're open 24/7, 365. If you need waffles, if you are having a hankering, they are there for you.
You need waffles now. Jeez. I mean, I get it. I love waffles.
I know you do. More than chocolate chip pancakes?
No. Just no, full stop. I love waffles, but they are not chocolate chip pancakes. But I also don't think I've lived a life where I needed waffles at 3 o'clock in the morning. I haven't. I'm not saying that no one would, but I haven't.
We're not going to talk about the moments where I think I've needed waffles at 3 in the morning. Anyway, it was recognized by somebody at FEMA that these places just didn't shut down. Even in the worst weather, the Waffle Houses were open. So somebody started collecting the data, putting it beside when there were disasters in an area, comparing the worst hit areas, etc., and this Waffle House Index was born. It's a stoplight system, so green, yellow, red.
Yeah.
Green basically means if a disaster has gone through that area. Let's say a hurricane hit the general area on the eastern seaboard or something. And they see that this Waffle House is putting out on its Instagram that it's open and ready for business and there's no problems, that is green. That means that
Can't
place
be that bad.
couldn't have been hit that bad. I'm sure they need some support, but they can wait. Yellow means, say, if they're on generator power or a partial menu because certain things aren't working. That usually means, okay, something's happened there. We need to get someone there in the nearest future. That's a priority. Red means they're closed. If a Waffle House is closed, you know things got real.
Yee.
So that's the first place they're sending someone.
Youch.
Yeah. Now, this was realized in 2011, so over 15 years ago.
Oh, so this isn't a recent thing.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
they figured this out a while ago.
Well, geez, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they now use this. It's an unofficial scale. It's not official, but it is an unofficial scale that is used regularly to figure out where to send people for assistance or to assist, and how many people / how much aid is needed.
I'm sad that it's not a official thing. That would make it way more whimsical.
It's
whimsical enough.
It is so whimsical.
But it would just up that a little bit.
Yeah, but it's regardless whimsical or official or not, it's very effective. And as I said, over 15 years, and they can still rely on that. And to me, that's an amazing example of creativity, taking those two disparate ideas, those two very different things, and going, Waffle House and disaster, mushing that together and potentially saving lives.
Yeah, a real great example of somebody having to look at, a couple of things, data points, whatever it's going to be, right, and doing what John Cleese says, which is generating new meaning.
Mm-hmm. And I have friends that are absolute wizards with data and can make these connections that I would never see. And it's amazing. Yeah, and they're telling me, well, I'm not creative. And I'm going, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're just creative in a different way than I am.
You didn't paint a picture, but that doesn't mean you're not creative.
Absolutely. And honestly, with some of the technology nowadays, there is so much happening in the digital spaces that is so creative, and even being put out there as new forms of art. Because, well, we have this different media to use, and people don't outright reach for that, which is a shame. So basically, I guess what we're trying to say here is creativity is all around us. Creativity is somebody seeing a cat that can't walk properly and engineering a wheelie, I don't want to call it a chair, support system so that it can zoom around the house. And yes, I have seen it. We have 2 wobbly cats upstairs, and honestly, one of them would probably have a blast with that.
Oh, what I do love, and I've seen videos of them before where I don't know what they're called, but they're like an exoskeleton, like kind of like it attaches to your waist and it kind of runs down the backs of your legs so you can like sit. It's like a portable stool almost. Mm-hmm. So you're walking and then you engage this however it engages, and then it's just like you just kind of sit down. I thought, that's a great idea. Somebody saw a problem and used creativity to solve it.
Yep. I don't know necessarily how useful that is in everyday life, or if it's really functional for all the time, or just a statement piece, because I don't know enough about that one.
No, I don't. I saw it once and I thought, that's really cool. I thought, man, I mean, if you were working at like a desk, right? At a counter. Cashier, right? That'd be great. Then instead of having to be on your feet all the time, you could kind of like sit.
Speaking as a former cashier, I would have killed for a stool at times. Yeah. But I digress. Essentially, what we're saying here, the thesis of all of this is creativity is everywhere. Creativity does intersect a lot with technology, and we're going to have a lot of fun taking a look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, without that, or with that, not without, I would like to say thank you so much for listening to this episode of Room for Creativity.
Also, make sure you're following us on all your socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can find us at roomforcreativitypod.com.
Yep, and you can also find ours on socials. We are Room for Creativity Pod, all one word. Then, make sure that you are liking, subscribing, and taking part in the conversation down below.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And be sure to tune in next week where we dive a little deeper into historical technologies and their disruptions. So there's that history lesson I was telling you about last time.
Well, at least just giving you some ample warning. So please make sure that you share your thoughts down below. Tell us about your favorite unconventional, creative idea that you've seen.
We'd love to hear it.
We would love to hear it. We love those kind of things. I'm always about a fun fact. So, thank you again. We're so glad you're along on this journey with us, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, and we'll see you all next week.
Take care.